Yay! Hi, everybody.
Hello, everyone. You're seeing me in a different place, and soon you're going to be seeing me in many different places.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
It's a whole new world. Welcome, everyone. Come on in. Let me go over to the chat so we make sure you see that. If you are watching over on Rumble, I can't comment on the chat because I got to leave the whole window. So I will check in afterwards. So if you have any questions or you want to reach out about anything. So welcome. We're so excited that we're going to Egypt tomorrow.
Super exciting.
We've been building up for this for so long that it feels I don't know. You don't get anticlimactic over this stuff because we just keep sharing and coming up with different things, which is why we're here today.
Well, and we both have so many things going on in our personal lives, so much transition and transformation. And so it's just kind of like, in a way, for me, it's been a bit of an add-on to that. But now that it's so imminent, right around the corner, wow. And Spirit is just opened up. I was just showing the little group that is coming to join us virtually that are already signed up, that I just got a new deck today, which is called the Egyptian Art Nouveau Tarot. So it's beautiful. The imagery is just gorgeous. And hi, Murdoch. And Ricky, nice to see you. So I'm going to be doing the readings from Egypt. I also have an Egyptian animal oracle deck. So I'm going to be using those two decks to do on-site readings. And that's part of what we're going to be sharing with this virtual pass. So maybe tell us a little bit more about how this originated, the idea of the virtual pass.
Yeah.
Tanya.
So those that don't know me, I've always been a bit of a black sheep, a bit of a rebel, and an adventurous spirit. So I've done most of the extreme sports. I've traveled the world already. I love traveling by myself to explore new places and spaces and things, and we're having a small group. And I warn them, everything's not booked. We're flying by the seat of our pants if it's somewhere new, to make sure that we allow for the magic to happen, that we can co-create and find something new. And it was quite profound because I was sitting up in Whistler, and I've been spending more and more time actually alone lately, just by myself, to get ready for this experience so that I'm eating like differently and purging the vessel, so to speak, and getting lots and lots of sleep, taking care of myself, getting ready to enter into this and hold the container.
Sacred container.
Very sacred container. We've both been working on that.
Even what I think we're bringing to Egypt at this particular time, I'm calling it like an envoy of peace. Like we're going there with peace in our hearts.
Yeah. Oh, we're already. They know we're coming. Yeah. And so Egypt, for me, I see Egypt different than most people. I see Egypt as a map for the human body. So your own temple. And if you know what to read or what to guide or what to follow, you're going to get the information you need, whether it's virtually. And I really want you to talk about that observer. That was beautiful. You're going to get to understand a little bit more about maybe some of the true originality, and everybody's got their opinions and they're telling stories, but we want you to feel it, experience it, because your mind does not know the difference between a movie, what you perceive as reality, or your imagination. And so you were mentioning about being the observer and how profound that is to have with us.
Yeah. So this virtual pass kind of came around as a result of us responding to people saying, oh, I really want to be there, but I'll be with you in spirit.
That's right.
And we were both going, okay. Meanwhile, we're thinking we've got to take all kinds of video footage. We've got to, and then we started cooking up the idea. We were like, well, what if we were to do some live stuff? And just say, look, there's a virtual pass. If you want to come and be with us, do some live meditation with us, literally walk into some of these temples with us as we're having the experience on the ground. I know the time zones are a little tricky, but even still, you're going to get it like really soon. If you purchase the virtual pass, you're going to have it like as soon as you're awake the next day or whatever, you'll have that. And it's going to be our raw expression of things. As I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of divination. I just got new dowsing rods today too. So I've got the new tarot deck, the Egyptian tarot, the Egyptian oracle deck. I've got new dowsing rods, and I feel like I'm preparing to have this journey of, just like Tanya was saying, spontaneous presence, because that's what I love about Tanya. When I first met Tanya and Norma of Adventures for Connection and went on the first adventure with them, I thought, these are my people. They like to go into travel, adventure, ceremony, group experience with this sense of awe for the mystery unfolding before our eyes, instead of having everything super, I want to say,
curated.
Structured and curated.
Yeah.
There's so many, and the other magical side of that, Tanya is just such an exquisite designer of things, like she picks the most extraordinary, she has a great taste in food and experiences and exploration. And so I trust her guiding us, and then we co-design the experience. So that's what our group are going to be traveling with. That's our intention. That's how we operate. And this is probably going to be the first of many larger sacred site tours that we'll be doing over the next few years.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I really want to add in why we wanted it to be more private. It's the energy. It's the container that I create and covet within my life, my home, my friends, right? The way we operate, so that it's clean and clear. And so I'm finding on social media, it's just so polluted these days between the bots and the naysayers. And it's like, I don't want any of that. I don't want to have to play with that. So everybody coming in, one of us pretty much knows. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what's really beautiful about it. It's for those that couldn't get a ticket and come with us, that really wanted to. It's for those that are maybe just curious about experiencing things in a different way, and realizing that, you know what, we're here to have fun. I want to bring as much joy to others by I love witnessing their experience. That's part of what brings me joy, is being able to hold that container and then see the shifts. And I often say, we have these masks that we wear every day, and it's the role you play when you're going to do work, or when you're being mom, or when you're with some specific friends, or when you're with family. And what is really beautiful is we spent months so far with the group coming, meeting once a month online, and we'll meet again afterwards, and just getting to know each other and understanding each other more, so that when we get there, it's like a big group hug, and it's dropping right into a deeper connection. And that's what we're hoping for you guys too, even on the online program, that you can let go of the mask and share whatever's coming through. So have that witness.
Yeah. So we were just talking with the group, and we're going to do probably a couple more lead-in kind of meet and greet over Zoom. So if you purchase the virtual pass, you're going to have an opportunity to come on and share your thoughts, your feelings, maybe, what you're hoping we might have a chance to look at, and also maybe some questions that you have for us to consider when we're going on this journey. And then we're going to do a post-trip follow-up Zoom sharing call as well. So you're going to be getting basically daily drops, some of them live, some of them meditations, some of them live readings, and also this pre-Zoom meet and greet Q&A and a post-Zoom meet and greet Q&A. And this pass is good for
a year. Yeah.
So you can watch if you're like, well, gosh, I'd love to do this, but I really don't have much time this month. Well, you can watch it 2 or 3 months from now. And, I want to speak about the witness, because when you are observing, you have a very important role to play. And there is a process. It's in the alchemy of transmutation. And in that, the witness plays a very important role, because they observe the whole experience from this neutral kind of eye, inner sight, while the person that's having the experience is in process with it. And both are so, I want to say, they work so beautifully in tandem, because there is this dual integration that happens. So, as we got talking about this idea of doing a virtual pass, it just made more and more sense that not only are we sharing this experience with those of you that want to join us in spirit, but we're actually receiving your energy, and that is affecting our journey and enhancing it. And we literally are co-creating. Even if you watch it 2 or 3 months later, like what you see and how you show up and how you witness that is going to have an effect on us during the trip.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And even afterwards, because what will happen is we'll end up doing a bit of a movie around it. Thanks, Norma Jean, who's not on here, but she's there carrying with us, being in her own way an energetic container and observer. And it'll be beautiful to have that whole process then a little more curated, but not fully curated. It'll still be rough. I will never curate things to the point where it looks like a movie on a big screen, or maybe I will, and it'll still be the way I do it. Because everyone who knows me knows it's bloopers and all around me.
Yeah.
It just really is.
Yeah, I think that's going to be great, because you'll get to see us in the raw, like, oops, or whatever, like our natural response to what's going on around us. And another piece that I feel is so important, because so many people are very anxious about, first of all, what's going on in the Middle East. Secondly, about travel in general right now. And we're certainly not going with some, head in the sand kind of spiritual bypass happening. However, it's interesting, one of the things that my heart was really open to when I was contemplating all this was, I was like, there's people that live close to there, even our European friends, right? Like, they're just around, like you start to look over there. For those of us that are in North America, everything's so far away, right? It's all way across an ocean. But for them, it's just like, a 2 or 3 hour plane ride from some of these European centers. It's like, the world is not that big. And those people, they have to sit right next to that hot energy.
Yeah.
And I feel like I want to go share that burden a little bit with them, and bring some cooling of North America, bring some cooling of those of us that are in a different place. Like, I just left my beautiful summer sanctuary in nature. And, I'm going to go home to that after the trip. And I really want to, in fact, I brought a stone from my garden, and I want to bring some of that. Like, not everywhere on the planet is going through a really big, heavy activation. And so to me, we can hold space energetically, share that burden, and bring healing. So, and the other thing is that I trust, I work with my guides and express that it's like, if it's not safe, make it really obvious. Like, it's the road's closed, or this isn't happening. It's going to be super obvious. And otherwise, I'm assuming that I am protected. And of course, we are going in with eyes wide open, with lots of experience, with experienced guides and protectors, and all of our collective, I don't want to call it protection energy, but frequency that we're bringing, that kind of, in a way, is going to clear a path for us. And I want you witnessing to be able to see, gosh, we'll tell you honestly what's going on. So you'll be able to see what is really, take a temperature or a pulse on the truth of what's happening over there. So that's another thing that I want to offer.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Also, we were explaining earlier that we leave tomorrow and we land in late on the 2nd there because of the time change, and it's a long flight. That's okay. We're going to sleep the whole time. And then we get up on the 3rd and we head over towards Mount Sinai. So towards the Red Sea. And we're going to stay and rough it a little bit, spend some time in the mountains and do some hiking. So we will do our best to share some of that. But at least when we hit the Red Sea a few days later, we will have Wi-Fi for sure. I don't know what kind of service we get in Mount Sinai, but even our guide has not been there. So he's excited to come with us and co-create.
Isn't that so interesting? And I was talking to a client whose husband is Egyptian, and she's been there like dozens of times to Egypt. Neither of them have been down to Aswan or up the Nile to Aswan, all the way to Aswan. So we're going to some really off the beaten track kind of places, still in the yellow zone. We're not going outside of the yellow zone, but we're really exploring, I want to say, a kind of full spectrum, and the places that are calling to us right now. And it feels like those lands are reattuning themselves to this new frequency of new earth. You want to share the screen share there?
Absolutely. Just want to add one more point before we do that was coming through very clearly today in dealing with something that I was dealing with somebody, and I was just observing them, and I'm like, yep, that's where people are at. So if everything is always status quo and there's not a shakeup and there's not a bit of chaos, you can't have change. Like I likened it to childbirth. Childbirth's messy. It's not this linear track that goes, it can go this way, it can go that way, that can happen, and it gets messy. But at the end, you're a completely different person and you'll never be the same again. You are now
a rite of passage.
Yeah. And so that's what the earth and we are all going through right now is a rite of passage into a new way of being. And some of us are like, all right, it's taken too long. This is too slow for me. And others are hanging on for dear life. I don't want it to change. Everybody's in a little bit different process. And so what I think is really beautiful about this is that I see great things coming as we connect more and we talk about even communities or connecting more with like-minded people and intentional communities and gatherings and adventures. This is going to be the new way of living, in my opinion. That's my new way of living anyway.
Oh, yeah. Murdoch has put up a fantastic question. Do you ask these places permission before entering? And, that is how I operate. And I know that Tanya operates like that as well. It's funny. I don't think about it because I do it so naturally. But it is about being observant, and it's not just going through the rote of asking for permission. It's sometimes you don't need to ask because you can already see the signs welcome you. Once you've been doing this for a while, but automatically you're putting prayers down the minute you put a toe on the ground. I see it as the whole thing is a prayer ceremony, which really ideally is the way we walk through life as well, right?
It is for sure. Absolutely. And I can say for sure sometimes you need to leave a little sacrifice.
Well, an offering.
Well, no, I had to leave a sacrifice when I first went to the Isis temple, and the guys stayed in the boat because they were like, what does this crazy white woman want to do? And there's me. No, I want the original Isis temple. They're like, why does she want to go there? Nobody wants to go there. And I kept pushing for it. And so we go on this boat and we go on this whole boat ride, and most of it's been removed, but the pillars are still there. The two of the pillars are still there and you can walk through. Now, part of it's underwater. So of course, honor, I go in, I do my thing. But as I'm leaving, I slip on the green and I cut my wrist a little bit and left a little blood sacrifice. It was you came here, we want something from you. Come on. So I'm definitely part of Egypt that way. Absolutely. The things that show up for me.
Yeah, and it's a sacrifice, like when we go to have these extreme experiences for those of us that aren't used to the high heat, the high temperatures. I mean, we're not even there in the hottest season, but still we're just a little outside of the cooler season, getting into the hot season. So there is a bit of a sacrifice even in pushing yourself to climb these things and do these things. And okay, now I got blisters on my feet and I'm hot and but we came here to show up. We're coming on these journeys to show up, not just to take, like, certainly not to take something, but to offer something of ourselves, and also our willingness to really, I want to say, listen, observe, and co-experience, be very present with the land there. So I've just pulled 3 cards, but I'm wondering maybe we'll put the share screen up for a minute, because I wanted you all just to see, if you go up to the screen and you can scroll along down it. This is, if you go to the RSVP.
That's a pretty, the camel has a really beautiful blanket.
I love this image. I'm like, I want to meet that camel. Actually, I'm going to go looking for that one.
Yeah, and you may just see them as well.
Oh yeah, so this is just so you can go on to the events section on my website and just add your details here, submit, and we'll send you the link. Or you've got the links also in the live, so you can just go directly to Adventures for Connection and access the link where you can pay for the virtual pass. And it is the regular price is $177 US. And if you are Eye of the World member, you get a 20% discount. So it's Eye of the World, all one word in capital letters, to access your discount.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You have to go back up to,
there we go,
the wide one. That
one. Yeah. We're working it out. We're working it out. There we go.
So before we go, I wanted to show you, I pulled 3 cards from the new deck. And interesting, the 3 cards I pulled. The first one, and I don't have the little book here, but this is the Ferryman. Now they've called the Hermit, number 9, they've called the Ferryman. So that's the ferryman that takes souls across the river Styx that is in the, I think it's the Greek mythology, but there's also a similar character in the Egyptian pantheon, who is the ferryman that ushers the souls across. But I think it's very interesting that we're all on this death and rebirth journey right now. We're all going through a journey from an old paradigm into a new one. So there's this sense of we're having a crossing. And now you could be a little worried about that, but this is the hermit in the traditional tarot, which is very wise, very mature, very calm, very grounded. It's a number 9. It's all about synthesizing, gathering all the loose ends. And look what it's qualified by. The 6 of Cups and the 3 of Wands, or staves. So these beautiful cards, which is basically sharing experience, 6 of Cups, community, open-heartedness, generosity, random acts of kindness. And the 3 of Wands is an adventure.
Yeah. And
it's stepping outside of your usual pattern to try something new. So for those of you that are thinking about this is a way that you can test the water, even with us. If you're thinking of ever doing a journey with us, and we're already talking about Peru next year, We're talking about the UK, Australia. Tanya's talking about Japan. We'll probably do another Egypt trip. So there's lots to consider down the road, and this might be a way to get to know how we do these trips and have a front row seat.
Absolutely. We have Lisa asking, how many of us are back from that Egypt timeline? How many of us are here now? What do you think?
Well, let's pull a card on it. I mean, it's interesting that I found it fascinating when you hear my story of why I haven't been to Egypt yet. It's almost unheard of. I mean, you all have seen my website. I have it's inspired, the logo is inspired by the Egyptian eye. And there's a whole story about that. It's not actually the all-seeing eye. It's the inner observing or inner neutral observing eye. But I've been following this, I want to say, timeline with Egypt for 45 years. And I've been invited. I had a really dear friend that was an Egypt tour guide, spiritual guide, for like 25 years. He's passed on now. And he invited me like 6 or 7 times to go with him. I had my all expense paid one time. It just never could happen. I used to be like, wow, this Egypt thing is really
elusive.
I can't seem to pin it down. But some deeper part of me went, oh, there'll be the right time. And then when I met Tanya and Norma a couple of years ago, and they said, yeah, we've been to Egypt already a couple of times. And I was like, this might be the time. Oh my goodness. And then I heard that Regina Meredith from Gaia has also never been to Egypt until this year.
Right? So there's something going on about this year.
Okay, this is really strange, because you would think someone like that's interviewed everybody and their dog on Egypt over the years, right? But she similarly said she got invited so many times and it never worked out. And then this year she got the green light. So to me, that says we're on a new timeline with Egypt, and some of us are now returning.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Oh, wow. 2 of Swords. 1021. Is that the World? Oh my God. The World, the 2 of Swords.
Deciphering cards live.
Yeah. It's because it's a new deck. So we have the 2 of Swords, which is waiting, or just waiting for the right time. They actually looks like scythe. 2 of Scythes.
Yeah.
And it's this drawing down the moon as well. So the moon is the purveyor of timelines. The moon is associated with time, and timeline correction is what I'm hearing. And then we have the world cracking open. So new earth, the 2 timelines converging, and an old one,
beautiful,
is being healed. The 3 of Swords. We have the 2 of Swords and the 3 of Swords, and the old timeline that's gone on for, well, I heard 30,000 years, is being healed now. And when you see this card, it is, they're calling it the 3 of Scythes, and we call it the 3 of Swords. It's open heart surgery. So it means that those of us that are showing up right now are showing up to extract the painful trauma energy out to, like, and you want, when you go in, if you were doing surgery to extract these swords out of the heart, you'd be very delicate about it, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're kind of like being called in as healers to do this very delicate work of slowly extracting those old timelines with gentleness, with patience. That's what I'm feeling.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
Oh yeah, 369.
Yeah, Caroline. Good job.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even see that. 369, look at that. There's the 3.
It's been 9 years since her open heart surgery. And now she's
and we had the 6 earlier.
Yeah.
And the 9 here.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So I guess, is there anything else we want to, anyone have any questions about the virtual pass?
And yeah, it's, it's going to be fun.
Mhm.
I love to play, and I love to play with the energies and feel it. And absolutely, the people I've connected to in Egypt, just, it's like I have timelines there. I remember being one of the ones, so the death ritual, that transition ritual in Egypt was always so honored. And I was the one overseeing it and making sure all the details were right. And I'm like, oh, go figure, right? And look at what I do now.
Yes.
Yeah, it's super beautiful. So I'm quite honored. And, yeah, you just show up and be you and be respectful and hopefully leave things a little better than you left, like found them. Yeah. Yeah. A little more love, a lot of more laughter. Yeah.
So we would love to have you come on, meet us on a Zoom live Q&A while we're there before we get started with the actual tour, which is with our group. And then you'll be getting regular daily drops of video content, live video content, some of it. Be able to join us for some of those lives and then have a post trip call with us as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we're grateful you're here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the questions and the information. And Carolyn's got one more thing. This is the type of thing. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what will happen. Yeah. It will be synchronicities. You're like, oh, that's not a coincidence.
Exactly. Oh, thank you, Murdoch.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for joining in. And if you're listening after the live, come on over. Even if you have more questions, just message us. Go into the RSVP on my events and leave a message there, and I'll get back to you. We're checking it out every day to see who's coming in. So awesome. Thank you, guys. Have a beautiful evening, and we hope to see you in Egypt with us. Bye for now.